Hello, it's Bangkok Chitchat. Thanks for watching. And before we go any further, I would just like to thank all of our subscribers once again, and also those who have just joined us. There's been a whole bunch of them, so that's really made our station grow. And while you're at it, share. We've decided that's a good way of sharing our video. With
and like and comment.
Yeah, but sharing, because you can share it to people we don't know, so it just projects us to people we don't know, which makes our station grow again.
Yep.
Don't know why I'm looking at you. Right, let's get on with the chit-chat.
I'm handsome.
We're talking mental health today, and in the studio we've got the founder of the Narina Retreats here in Thailand. His name is Bruce Hancock. Thanks for joining us. Can you explain what Narina Retreats do?
Yep, Narina Retreats, we take successful leaders working in business, often senior executives or management, into exotic and inspiring retreats. We have 4 retreats, one in the south of Thailand, Myanmar, Cambodia and Laos. And we also we offer a performance coaching, so performance coaching and customized workshop design, again for leaders in organizations. My background's in performance psychology, coaching, facilitation for the last 25 years, so really bringing that together and helping successful leaders have even more impact in who they are, how they impact with other people and the business.
And so they can perform better?
Perform better, yes.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so before you went into this, you were also, I think you were also helping people with issues and problems, you're counselling. Is that correct? Way back, and this is really the direction.
Way back in the old days.
Yeah. Well, in the young days for you, a long time ago.
That's right. I mean, where it all started was, it started in personal training, to be honest, and from personal training, I became interested in therapeutic massage, and I did that for around 5 or 6 years, and around that time, I became interested in psychology. And I was going through a few challenges myself, so I thought I wanted to seek some help and just look at a couple of little demons or behaviors that were surfacing for me. So I did psychotherapy for myself for some time, and it was at that time I became interested in performance psychology. I studied that in Sydney for 4 years. And then the journey just went on from there. I started working with large organisations. I had a clinic set up in Sydney itself, working with individuals and teams, and a lot of that was around the behavioural change. So what happens when stress takes you over?
So this is where this dovetails into what we're talking about today.
Exactly.
Which is more about poor mental health. Yeah. So
can I just go back just to the retreat just for a second? Is it the retreat like they're perfectly well when they go there, and you're going to make them even more better, or are they ill when they are not feeling quite right when they go there?
No, absolutely, they're successful.
Okay.
These are leaders that are working at the top of their game, or have the potential to be even better.
And how long do they stay there for?
They stay there for 3 days. The process is, before that, there's a psychometric tool. One of the world-leading psychometric tools that we use. It looks at the bright side personality, the day-to-day personality, and it also looks at the dark side, where a trait could be overused and that trait may go against them. For example, reactiveness, anger, volatility, not being able to trust people easily, overly cautious. So we help them to gain awareness, and from that awareness, what actions can I take to overcome that, to make sure that I don't derail and it results in poor
Is this like in a classroom, or do they sit down on beanie bags, or is there someone in front that is like a lecturer? I don't mean it in the sense of a lecturer, but how is that? Are they all sat down and they just listen? It's like a seminar type thing.
Look, it's very interactive. It's facilitated. We've got different activities. We're in nature, so we have wilderness walks. We have time to reflect. We have an opportunity where they can engage with other people and get ideas from other people about certain behaviours that they want to change, and what ideas do they have. So very much interactive. Yoga. We have massage. Meditation or breathing techniques.
It sounds like a health resort. Yeah.
No, sounds like rehab.
they're not
I wouldn't know.
But they're taken to a place. If they escape, they can't go anywhere.
Yeah. Do you have a white coat on when you're talking? No, we get it now. It's a very relaxed atmosphere. The people are already successful, but they want to carry on being successful and even better than they were before, maybe.
Yeah.
And to stop them from going off the rails. I mean, some of these successful people do have a lot.
So some of this would be if people go through burnout. Yeah. You can see they're working so damn hard, and they're creating a situation where they can go through burnout. So teaching them how to delegate, how to trust, that kind of thing. So certain behavioural habits they get. It's like a small business owner, even myself. You end up taking on far too much yourself, where you should be delegating it out to the people, and start trusting and letting them get on with the job which you employed them for, or with the skills they've got. So some of these people just can't let go, and you're teaching them to let go.
Yeah, and it's not so much teaching, they want to make the change. It's transformation. So we could all change a behaviour, but how long does that last? And if you want to change a behaviour or transform the way that I am, because we've all had a life story, right? We've all got our life story. And we've had our mountains, our highlights, and have had our valleys, which are the tough times. And we've learnt lessons along the way. And that's helped form who we are today. So they're operating in an organisation and they want to be even better. So how can they do that?
Yeah, it's not like they've got to become better. Like, I'm ill, I've got mental problems. No. They're already sound, right? They're all A1. But can I enhance myself even further? That's now I'm beginning to understand.
Part of it is when they're doing I'm guessing here, you're doing the analysis is to find out where they're not sound, where they're maybe getting the performance, but they're doing it in a way which maybe is pissing other people off. Yeah, like get this done by 5 o'clock tomorrow.
Because they're already successful,
they put pressure on other people. Yeah,
look, they are successful, and there's nothing wrong. But some of the traits, like I said, the bright side personality, day-to-day personality. For example, low adjustment. Somebody with low adjustment.
Which means what? Low adjustment.
Low adjustment is about your ability to handle stress and how you react in those situations. So low adjustment, worry about performing well, may take criticism personally. Somebody with high adjustment just expects to succeed. Not easy to coach, may overlook their mistakes. So the low adjustment leader, will look at the high adjustment and think, where's the sense of urgency? And the high adjustment will look at the low adjustment and think, what's all the panic? What's all the stress about?
It's a bit much of confidence then, isn't it? It's a confidence builder sort of thing.
Yeah, the confidence, the self-efficacy, the ability to know who I am and what traits get in the way if I overuse those traits. For example, diligent. Great, I can delegate and I can follow up. But if I've got high diligent, then there's the chance that I may micromanage.
Be OCD on it a bit.
Step in too much. And that's one of the big killers that I see often is the high excitable trait, which is related to volatility, anger, pushing others away. Skeptical, which is about trust, not trusting others easily at all. So I don't trust anybody. I heard a leader just recently saying, well, the way I do it is I don't trust anybody until they prove to me that they can be trusted. Okay.
I get his point.
Yeah, you would.
Wouldn't you? Well, if I was employing someone, I've got to work with that person. Like Andrew, I started working. Don't use that as an example. No, but I didn't trust him. I did not trust him when we started working together. But I can't say I actually
you didn't know me in a work environment.
And you didn't trust me in that same sense until we had actually worked together and got to know each other. And now he trusts me explicitly, and so the same. Which means we have a great working relationship.
Yes.
So this trust thing, I can understand that gentleman. What he said is, I've got to know him before I can trust him. Is that right or is that wrong mentally?
It's not wrong, but there's easy ways to build trust. For example, if he's engaging with somebody, he's giving a brief and he's walking away thinking, I don't think they've got it. I don't think they've got it. Well, what could help him there is getting that person to repeat back. Say, look, just so we're on the same page here, you repeat back what you understand is what I'm asking. Repeats back, yeah, that's it. So it doesn't have to go into this internal stress and concern about whether somebody's got it. So that will reduce the level of stress.
The problem with that is they turn around and you say, have you got it?
Yes.
No. Or they go, yeah, and you see in the eyes, no. And you're going,
well, this is a
do you
very
explain
good...
again calmly?
I'm glad
You're repeating it back.
Yeah, and then you say, no, you haven't got it.
But
But you say, explain it again. You haven't got
But
it.
this applies, surely this applies even more for a foreigner that is working here with Thai
For
staff.
sure, yeah.
So bring it around to Thailand. So yeah, I think we all do it now. I've had Thai staff. I say, diddly 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 diddly. Everybody okay? Yes. I'll say, no, not the faintest idea.
Imagine how
And that gives me stress when they don't do it right.
a Thai boss is explained to you as a foreigner, in English, and they're maybe study overseas, and they get the same problem with us.
Yeah, but I always ask, if I don't understand what he's saying to me, I will ask him again, sorry, I don't understand. Which I think has done me a lot of good in the
Then
past.
he's all upset.
Do
and
not
angry.
go out that door not understanding what you were supposed to do. That's a mistake.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't. And I was told by an old boss, say you don't understand once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, doesn't matter. As long as you don't go out that door not understanding. And if the boss loses his temper with you, well, then he's not the right boss for you.
Yeah.
Well, what would you do? You say, resign? No money?
Well, I
Just
know,
take it.
I know.
Take
But
it.
you know,
Take it.
yeah,
sorry,
Job.
boss, I didn't understand. I don't
That's
get
right.
that bit.
Yeah.
Can you explain it again? And
Yeah.
a boss should be like, well done, mate, for saying that.
Yeah.
If I was a boss and someone said that to me, I'd go, well, this guy's okay. He, he wants to do a good job.
Yeah.
And I always bring it back to the leader. The expats, I mean, I'm living here 20 years and yourself, long term. It comes down to that leader's behaviour. So if
Lead by
the Thai
example.
has, if a Thai person working in the organisation feels comfortable with you to come and speak to you, communicate with you, share concerns, open up, well, that says something about you. But if you're coming in from outside in and operating how you would outside of Thailand and not catering for the needs of the culture, then you're going to be coming up against a brick wall.
It's something when you say culture, I think it's treating people with humility, is an international standard. People say you had to do it differently in Thailand. I actually see that as, in many situations where the Thai says it isn't done this way in Thailand, it's a bit of a cop-out, because you have to treat people with respect, full stop. Yeah?
Wow.
Wherever you are, and if you're a foreign organisation, you shouldn't change your processes, etc., just to suit the culture, unless it is demeaning in some way. But with this society now, which is all politically correct, it's gone so far. So, when you say that's the way it's done in Thailand. If you talk about legally process, that's right.
Leaders don't survive if they're going to humiliate anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world.
That's my point.
Anywhere in the world. And if they're aggressive and they push you away, a lot of the Thai that I've worked with have said to me, "It's fine. I'll just back off. I won't say anything.
That's correct.
I'll just do my job." And you get 50% performance.
Yeah.
So we need to look at, because that leader's behaviour creates the culture. When we're talking about organisational culture or team culture, I'm talking about country culture. That leader's behaviour creates the culture. So if they're reactive, if they're aggressive, if they don't trust people easily, if they're pushing away, that becomes the culture. So if you want a family clean culture and you're acting like this, no, it's going against it. By default, it comes down to the leader's behaviour.
Lead by example.
So you're dealing with behaviours, which comes back to what we're talking about with mental health. If someone's got poor mental health, so in a work environment, that's one example. I mean, there's nothing worse than working for a company which you just hate working for. And it's not the company you hate; it's the people you're working with or working for. I never have the attitude of working for. My attitude is always people work with me. We're a team. I've always said that. But some hard decisions have to be made, and that's your responsibility to make these hard decisions and present them.
Yes.
So the work environment is one thing. Just now we're going through COVID, and people are unsure whether they're going to have a job or not, etc. So whether you look at from successful leaders who are successful in performance, but they could improve themselves, or somebody who's going through a poor situation where they're unhappy, feeling insecure, depression is a very wide thing. So I don't even like I don't like using the word depression, but let's just call it feeling down. Yeah? And it's going on for a period. It's affecting the family, affecting friends. They decide to, close themselves away. Can be same thing in an office, where the manager stays in his office all the time because he doesn't want to see his senior, or the staff don't want to speak to the manager because they've locked themselves away. Really, the issue is the manager. This is what you do in changing the attitude. So bringing this back into the sort of general public, the common things would say, basically confidence. People's confidence is affected. They get trust issues, anxiety, and this, let's say, down feeling. In brackets, depression. When you're dealing with people, what sort of things would you be looking for in people to see that they need some assistance? What sort of characteristics would you...
Telltale signs sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I can bring it in again to the work that I'm doing with people. And what I do is the change of behavior impacts personal, it impacts professional. So when you see people having a lot of doubt, self-critical, overly self-critical, putting themselves down, then I start to have the conversations with them. What is that chatter? What is happening there? The little voice that sits on your shoulder, and it says it's not good enough, or it should be better. And we look at reframing that, turning that into something more positive. So that builds confidence and the ability to interact with other people, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert.
How do you do this then?
How do you do it is, first of all, understanding and knowing together that this is limiting. Admitting almost that this is limiting my performance. Okay? So the next step is actions. So in a case like that is, I want to become more aware of that voice, and I want to change that dialogue. I want to start having more positive, whether it's writing a journal, sometimes we do, whether it's waking up in the morning and setting your day up in a very positive way, whether it's incorporating exercise into what you do, which seems all very, obvious things, but a lot of us don't do that.
Or you're saying you can tell them, right, okay, so let's say you're unemployed or whatever it is. I know you're talking about people who are employed, but that's your job. Yeah, is people who are already employed. Sure. But if someone's unemployed, they every day they get up, or for that matter, retired people, they're suddenly not working. And they get up and they go, what value am I to anybody now? What can I contribute? Or how can I get back into work? Nobody will want me, because I'm 50 years old.
Their confidence has gone there.
Sure.
So, and then they don't go out. They make excuses. I don't have the money. Don't have this. Don't have that. Yeah, they lock themselves away. Yeah. So you're saying is what they should be looking at is that little. I love that idea of that little thing in your shoulder. Yeah, which is
the little voice.
Sorry, viewers, we have no idea. Let them carry on. And we'll just have our own conversation.
Andy, these voices you hear sometimes. Yeah. Right.
Are they mic'd up? Have you got a camera for them?
But there's basically that inner character which says, no, you don't do that. You couldn't do it.
Oh yeah, your inner conscience or whatever you want to call it.
The inner critic or
So there's the things that
goes with the chip,
self-critical, lack of risk, or I'll embarrass myself, sort of thing. So you don't do anything. So you just this hole keeps getting deeper and deeper and deeper. Sure. Yeah. So what you're saying is listen to what's being said. And off camera, you actually mentioned one thing is sometimes look at yourself in the mirror. Explain that, because
I mean, someone has to want to change. You can't just change because other people want you to change. You have to see that.
You have to realise you've got a problem.
You have to realise that this isn't serving me well. I can sit at home and wallow all day in my pain and my anguish and what I don't have, and feed myself that. How do I feel? Worse. I met a guy in the coffee shop 3 days ago, and I had to take note of it. I just shared with a few friends. He comes in, sits in the coffee shop, orders his bread. She said, we've only got white bread. White bread? White bread's so unhealthy for you. I can't believe you're selling white bread here. Do you know how? And she's looking at him, it's like shock horror. That's not healthy. And then she wanders off. He goes outside, gets a big smoke, smokes a cigarette, and comes back in. I mean, and
that stressed him out that there was no brown bread.
Yeah. So some people are going to wake up in the morning and think, whose life can I make miserable today?
Yeah, I've met these people before in my life.
And other people will wake up and say, I'm not feeling great today, and I want to do something about it. I want to go out and pick up a book of inspiration. I want to read that for 10 minutes. I want to close that book and I want to write what it means to me. Other people will say, I'll go for a walk in the bush. I'll go for a trail walk. I'll have a conversation with somebody that is going to enrich my soul. I want to be around positive people.
That's why to-do lists are pretty good, aren't they?
Yeah.
Actually, I heard this from Joe Rogan, who was on the other day. He said, he writes, and he said that he knows other people that have a to-do list. He said, and he makes it full, but it could be silly things. It doesn't have to be, I'm going to have a meeting with MGM or something like that. Because I'm going to make a boiled egg breakfast, like that. Yeah. Then I'm going to do this. And he says the act of ticking them off
achievement
is achievement, job satisfaction.
Yes.
And there's some serious ones in there, but it says there's some pathetic ones,
Absolutely.
But the mirror one you were talking about, which is very, very interesting. Let's see.
The mirror, I did that with a client a number of times. So it was around self-confidence and I'm not good enough. And in their particular case, it was related to obesity. So they were always putting themselves down.
Tell me more.
No, you've trimmed down a lot.
Yeah, look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. No, don't look in the mirror.
I just saw you.
Shock horror.
Well, keep your clothes on if you do. Yeah.
And it was all around, there's more than you just in the physical form, So what are the great things that there are about you? And I said to it, stand in front of the mirror, and you have to look at the opposite eye because you're in the mirror, and just stay there for a minute. Just breathe, but look into that. And it was incredible. As they did it for 2 or 3 minutes, there was a shift. And all of a sudden, the way that she explained it was if I could see myself in a totally different way. Yeah. I could see myself as I see other friends. And there was this compassion, there was this gratefulness, and I could see the real inner resources that I had. And that was her little breakthrough.
So she looked in the mirror to say, what is good about me, or just didn't think anything?
No, just didn't think anything. Just stay there in silent mode, just looking at that. Try it later.
The kind of break. So what I wanted to go on is looking at, you say, signs, and this is one of the things people may be confused about is we're talking about business and behaviour, but actually, as I said before, it relates back to how people can treat themselves in a way and see themselves for change. So looking at some early signs, and you can correct me if any of these are wrong. So someone else told me that if someone has these signs for like 2 weeks or more, they've got a problem. If it's just like, I'm feeling down, shit, it was a bad day, sleep it off next day, you'll feel better. But it's things like withdrawing from friends, family and colleagues, avoiding activities that you'd normally enjoy, sleeping too much or too little. Most times you'd be completely all depressed. My wife could sleep 12 hours. I bore the hell out of her. No. Eating too much or too little. Yeah?
You're falling to all these categories.
Yeah. Feeling hopeless. I'm getting really hopeless just now.
I think you're depressed.
Feeling hopeless. Having consistently low energy. Using mood-altering substances like alcohol. Oh, that's me. I'm screwed. Yeah. Nicotine. Displaying negative emotions, being confused, being unable to complete daily tasks such as getting to work or cooking a meal. Yeah. Having some persistent thoughts or memories that reappear regularly.
I'm starting to feel a bit.
Thinking of causing physical harm to yourself or others. Hearing voices. Everyone's got one of them. Experiencing delusions.
Not another page.
No. So, right, anyway, that was a list. But the point is that if someone's got that for 2 weeks, you see this with a friend, or within yourself or within a family member, it's at what point do you actually approach them and say, listen, you're feeling down. Let's see if we can how we can help. Yeah. And then the next question, how you can help. But it's actually seeing that. How could you approach somebody?
Because they're in self-denial, right?
Because it's the same as your people as leaders, Because they think they're okay, and then you do your psychoassessment, psychobabble, whatever it's called, Your assessment, and identify that there's some traits that could be adjusted to make things better for them personally, but also within the workplace. Yeah. So, at what point can you really identify it? Not everybody's going to do a psychometric assessment.
No. And I don't believe that putting a timeline on it is healthy in a sense of I mean, all these traits. And we have to get clear that mental health is very much like mental wellness. And mental health is, I have the capability to be able to overcome stresses that come in my way, building resilience. And I can look at it from my internal resources. I've got resources inside. I'm capable in my own world, and I can tap into resources outside to be able to help overcome that. And I've got friends and support and social connections to be able to support that as well. Now, mental illness is something.
Well, that's what I wanted to. I mean, you're
so we're talking about mental wellness. That's what we're talking about.
But can we go to that just for? I know this thing isn't about mental illness, but how do you define what is mental illness then? What depression?
I think it's anything clinical.
Depression, is it?
I think it's probably something clinical where a doctor would say, you can take pills, or whether you could, schizophrenia or something like that.
Okay. And we have to be very careful. We're focusing on mental health and wellness, and mental illness is where you've had a professional do a diagnostic and go through a treatment program.
Can depression be a mental illness, or is it more a well-being, a non-well-being thing?
Depends what you classify depression. There's so many levels to depression. I could wake up feeling a little bit down and think, but it's how you react to feeling down. See, some people will knock that and make it even worse. But hey, I'm feeling a bit down today. So sit with that. So what is it that I'm feeling down about? It could be related to fear. It could be related to rejection. It could be something that happened that's
disappointment.
People wake up in the morning, clients that first thing they're doing in the morning, somebody said the other day, is looking at all the world problems. How's that going to set you up well for the day?
I always look at our YouTube channel subscriber numbers first thing in the morning, and it never goes down, which is thank you, but it normally goes up, and I go, right, let's start the day. Even if we've only gained one subscriber, but it gives me enough energy to do my exercise. That's the first thing I do. I have 5 minutes on the side of the bed where I'm just quiet. Just like that, being in the now sort of thing. And then
breathing techniques.
Yeah, I do that. And breathing, I wanted to talk to you about that, Andrew. The breathing techniques are really, really, Russell Brand's on about it a lot. And it's not like forever, it's just to do 10 of them. And you feel completely different.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, that's not all about me, this one.
But there's different therapies, treatments, and I'm not talking about professional. Yes, of course you can have professional help with this, and especially if in UK or somewhere where you've got the public NHS, it's not going to cost you anything. But over here, it would cost you a lot of money, to speak to somebody.
It costs you. I don't know about a lot. Like I said in the initial stage, 25 years ago, I did 18 months of psychotherapy for myself. Why did I do that? Because I was getting sick and tired of the same thing coming up in a relationship where I was pushing the other person away. So it was related to rejection, it was related to fear. And by going through that process, that helped change the cognitive sort of mindset. People who are feeling depressed on an ongoing basis and don't know how to get out of that, that would be worthwhile seeking professional help. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's a great thing. Celebrate it. It's like going for a run. I want to change my body shape.
It's funny how things have changed, because when you're younger, it was like a sin to ask for professional help.
You hide away.
Or even ask for speak to the doctor, and the doctor gives you some uppers or whatever it is to make you feel more positive. Antidepressants, which I think maybe are given out like Smarties sometimes. But if it helps, why reject the opportunity as long as it's professionally subscribed?
Well, because it's only a short-term fix, though.
Yeah.
It's only a short-term fix. It's just to ease you've got to change your whole lifestyle for when you come off them.
Well, not just that. It's just changing your lifestyle.
Well, no, but the antidepressants will, without you changing your lifestyle, they'll work. and you'll be doing exactly the same things that have made you depressed in the first place, but you're not feeling depressed because you're taking the tabs. Take the tabs out, you're back to square one. Am I right? I'm sounding like I'm a doctor.
No, but it makes
different
sense.
for each case. Yes.
So within the sort of the psychotherapy, or they say talking therapies, is if you've got a friend or a partner, or whatever it is, who is depressed, the first thing is to make the person must accept they've got an issue. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, or they're simply feeling down and depressed that day. The best thing you can do is be there for them, and not offer too much in the way of fixing anything.
Let them find their way themselves.
Let them find the way. Ask them the questions. Ask more questions.
Like what? What sort of questions would you ask them?
How are you feeling today? What's happening for you? Yeah, I'm just feeling down. What is it you're feeling down about? You
put things in perspective for them. Because the worst thing is, it's not that bad, but it is bad to them at the time.
I wouldn't say that.
You don't want to go in and fix. There's a lot of people who just want to fix a problem because they feel uncomfortable. And in my counselling days, as I said, it started off with the counselling and went into coaching and facilitation from there. But the counselling, the relationship, or the youth, with aggressive youth and things like that, it was being there, present with them. But you can only take someone to a place where you've been before, where you've looked at yourself around a particular issue or challenge. There is a tendency to fix it for the other person based on your experience, but does that really help them? You could give them some ideas if they're open to that. Would you like to, explore some options here?
Oh, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
Okay then. Thank you for joining. Oh, sorry, I thought we were talking about the show.
I think there's a lot of people that are suffering and keeping it in closed doors. I feel particularly sad by the fact that there are increased in the way of suicides, as we know, and statistics. I think people are feeling a little bit lost and not knowing how to reach out, how to connect, what books to buy. My coaching practice has gone up, and the conversations that I'm having with clients is about that self-empowerment. So it just depends on many factors. If they're in a family unit that would support that, if they're around friends that won't downplay it. I've worked with clients in the past where they've been excited about making changes for themselves, and the friend, hey, don't do that. You don't need that. No, that friend actually likes them feeling a little bit down at times. So there's lots of factors that come into play. There's some people who just are afraid to change, are afraid to be, let's say, better in their world, because they've been living like this for so long.
And they're in a rut.
They've built friends around them, and this. So they have to be very courageous. And the three-stage prong at the beginning is looking at how courageous you are. That means how courageous you are to look at yourself. Humility, how willing are you to accept feedback from others? And then discipline. Without this, nothing works. Discipline. Willpower, to take action. So we need to take action. Tomorrow, what are you going to do?
Let me say, what actions do they take? The guy that's unemployed, he's 55, 60, or whatever it is, he needs money. He's going, it's hopeless, no one's going to employ me.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. How does he cope with that?
And he's eating McDonald's 4 times a day, and then someone goes, look, you need to eat better. That's the last bit of news that he wants at that point, right? Because that's the only thing that's keeping him sane, right?
The core thing is that he's feeling worthless. He's feeling that there is no future. He needs family. Maybe he's got kids, and he can't afford to put them to school or whatever it is, and he feels as if he's no longer a man, the breadwinner. 60 years old, that's how he was brought up. How does that guy get himself out of that rut?
Couple of months ago, the stresses of all the COVID, a client in Hong Kong, massive relationship challenges, and she wanted to work with me on the coaching element, but I didn't, because did they really want to change? Did they want to do the work? And I assessed that through the conversation at the beginning. Well, if you're going to sit and wallow and not really want to change, that's just going to suck energy from everybody around you.
Okay, so she says she wants to change. Yeah.
So wants to change. Okay. Well, what is it that's getting in the way? We need to understand what that is. What are the current stresses? Is it about the work, loss of job? Okay. What a great opportunity. COVID, great opportunity to reassess myself, to be able to say, right, now I'm not so busy. I'm going to start building a few resources within myself. I'm going to go back and visit my CV. I'm going to do a short course over there. I'm going to re-educate, reinvent myself so that when I do go back out into the workplace, I come in there with gusto, I come in there with energy and vibrancy.
And confidence, because nobody,
yeah.
is it the old story was nobody wants to buy something when they don't believe in their product, don't have the knowledge, or don't believe in themselves. Half of anything in your business is believing in yourself.
Yeah, I think what I've gleaned from what you just said is that I like that wallow, right? By the way, before that you mentioned sad, and I think that's a really good word. I'm sad that people are sad, because I think being sad is not nice. But you were saying people are wallowing, and the ones that wallow and can't physically have the willpower to get out of it, then they're screwed. They've got to want to get out to stop wallowing, unless you can't. You can only do so much if they're and that's it really.
No.
There's no.
I burnt out 20 years ago in Sydney because I wanted to help everyone.
Yes.
And I suffered.
You've got to pick your battles really with this.
Yeah.
I mean.
And you'll have family dynamics that are supportive, and some other family dynamics that are not. And so where do these people go? But they first have to take one step.
And it has to be from them.
It has to be from them.
Yeah.
We can't push it.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I feel sorry for the guy that's wallowing, because no one should wallow anyway. But what help can you do to these people if they can't make that one step in the right direction?
I often say to them, I'm here for you.
Yeah.
I'm here for you 100%. Are you? If we take a step forward, are we going to work this together? You know, and are you going to operate with that courage, with that humility and that discipline as we go in? Every time we meet, let's reassess that. Where are you at today? 1 to 10.
Yeah.
On the courage, humility and discipline.
Yeah. And once you get into it, of course, the process is probably speeded up a bit, because they can see the benefits of what they.
So they start using these tools you're talking about. You know, as you said, they have a list. Achievements, small things, and there's an achievement in the day that maybe you see, as you say, if it's a journal, to help them out. It's like even when my daughter, we couldn't work out what university and what she's going to study. So I said, okay, take a piece of paper, what I like, what I don't like, and she went through it all, and then said, okay, this is what I like. Well, she actually found what she wanted to study.
Yes,
she made that. It was her decision.
It has to.
But it had to be an action to make it simple.
That's right.
So I forgot what I was going to say there.
But it's like
sounded good.
I thought this guy's on a roll. I'm not going to interrupt him.
But
you interrupted yourself.
So it was to do with these little tips to start.
Yes.
And then you see exercise, changing lifestyle.
Which one? Climbing the ladder to get well.
So once you've taken that first step, I want to change. Yeah. So helping them say, okay, first of all, your to-do, maybe it's make sure you're getting enough sleep, but don't oversleep. Give yourself, I'll get up at 8 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock in the morning every day, so you've got a routine.
Discipline,
I'll do this, create that discipline, create that routine. And then if it's work or something, you're going to work from this time to this time to this time. Don't work till midnight every night, because you'll burn out. So making achievable targets.
That's right.
Achievable goals, and be proud when you meet them. I mean, someone turned around. We discussed this before with one of our other interviews. What do you class as being success? And my answer was happiness.
Well, yeah.
Right. So yes, I've got the business, and I've got family life, and I've got everything else. But the key thing is happiness. And that happiness, it does relate to money, but it doesn't need to be a lot of money. It means you're satisfied and you feel safe. And enjoying what you do. And basically just being happy with the people you've got and appreciating what you have. And that's my definition.
That's right. And there is a happiness trap.
Oh, right.
False happiness.
Well, happiness for you, for me,
it's different.
We're all different. And with the social media that's out there, there's a lot of criticism. So not only do I have
Try our business.
my own self-critic operating, I've got other people's, which I think I project on their thinking about me. So I don't feel comfortable standing in front of an audience, recent example, because they're thinking that. No, you've got no evidence of that. You know you're thinking that. And then on top of that, you've got all the social media that's beaming down everywhere around you, thinking there's criticism. Whatever I do, it could be judged. So there's a lot of pressure out there. Then you've got the COVID. Then you've got uncertainty. Then you've got fear. So it just escalates. The beautiful thing about the COVID at the moment is that it's elevating behaviour that has been sitting dormant anyway in the comfort. So now it's sitting above the line and we're seeing it all. You know, we've seen the president of the US. I mean, he's courageous, bold and all that, but it's dysfunctional, some people would say. So really it's... I would just
get back to the happiness.
Yeah,
though,
the happiness. So that happiness trap is like determining what happiness means to me.
Yeah, it's a personal thing.
Yeah, well, happiness means to me, it's like I would like to be content. I would like to not have this inner battle all the time. I don't want to have this chanting going on in my head. I don't want to have this fight within.
Goodness me.
And when I overcome that, I can feel a strong sense of happiness. I wonder how many people out there want to have a relationship that they feel really connected to and excited by and vibrant around that and have friends around that they feel support. You know, that's a strong sense of happiness.
All right, listen, I've got to do my thing. Time, we're running out. So
Right.
you've got the questions
Right,
there.
so the very last thing, I'm going to go through some common phrases and you can say whether they're useful to people or not.
Quick fire questions. Here we go.
So, here we go. Tomorrow's another day.
It is.
That's a common phrase.
what does that mean?
No, but
Can you explain what we're doing?
So you're feeling,
That's not for me, I'm not playing.
you're feeling down today. Tomorrow's another day. You'll feel better.
Oh,
tomorrow.
right. So what's he got to say?
So do you think it's a useful phrase
Oh,
or it's a
right.
stupid phrase?
Okay. Yeah, it's a good one. And in addition to that is, what's the worst thing that could happen?
Lovely. Okay. Sleep on it. Well, the same as tomorrow's another day.
Good one.
If you can, yeah.
No, don't spoil it. You're doing
Yeah.
well.
Don't
Nice.
Don't be proud to ask for help.
Beautiful.
Okay.
It's not very easy.
Manliness is not part of today's cultural expectations. Being a man is.
Again?
Pass.
Manliness is not part of today's cultural expectations. So I'm a macho.
Yeah, but being a man.
Being a man is basically standing up to certain things and
So what
get
do
on
we
with
say?
it. Yeah?
Is that true or false?
Do you think it makes sense
So-
or it's crap?
It makes sense. Yeah, human beings. Human beings.
Cry if you want to. I know you're going to say it's a song. Yeah.
Cry if you want to, can take to party. Yeah, Doris Day, 1961.
So people say cry if you want to. I would say you think people should, maybe, but we wouldn't do it in public. Yeah.
Look, allow your emotions to run freely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't hide them.
Share your pain.
That's a difficult one, isn't it? Well,
Sh-
I don't want to
share-
get hurt from his pain, do I?
Yeah, share it, but not the same pain all the time. You know, do something about it.
Right. Okay. And another one was I got one was my
these.
father. Everybody's father says,
I'm going to play this.
"Get off your arse and do something."
Well, but that's the first step. Out of the wallowing situation, you said they've got to do the first thing. So it's a sort of harsh way of saying it, but get your ass going.
Yeah, and just recognise. I might always carry around. Oh yeah, I've got one.
The
here.
rubber band.
The rubber band. So
Yeah.
so the rubber band, just put that around your wrist.
Yeah.
Just for a day.
Yeah.
Just for a day. And every time you listen to yourself, give yourself a negative thought.
Yeah.
I should have done this, or
Yeah.
I should have. I'm not good enough. Just flick it.
Yeah.
Flick it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a reminder.
Yeah.
And then I've had some clients with a red ring that stays there
No,
for
but
some
that's
time.
I mean that's
you
a
know.
known thing, and that's
Yeah.
very. I mean, I normally just kick Andrew if he's around.
I'm just a big dog. Yeah. I'm
got
a
any more?
big lab.
I
Yeah,
wanna play this at
one
Christmas.
more.
Can I play this at Christmas?
Just failure is the best learning process.
Let yourself fail. Let yourself fail. If you're afraid of failing, that will slow the process in doing.
What do you mean let yourself fail? You don't want to fail on purpose.
Well, allow
Fail, what do you
yourself.
mean?
Because if you fail, what are you going to do? Pick yourself up and move on. So you let yourself fail. If you're afraid of failure, you're going to hold yourself back potentially. and not try new things.
Surely would be if you're thinking you're going to fail, find an idea so you don't fail.
Yeah, I
Wouldn't
mean,
that be
nothing's
better?
guaranteed. No, but the thing is, if failure is not a big thing, it's a bit little things. You didn't manage to get, clean the bathroom that day. Oh my God, it wasn't on my list.
yeah.
Or it wasn't unless you didn't do it.
That's even worse.
Yeah, but it's not the end of the world.
No,
It's just
I
like,
get it,
Take
yeah.
it and learn from
Yeah,
it.
the benefit of a mistake. We all learn from that, ideally.
Yeah.
So then we're going to grow and we develop. It's a bit like listening with the willingness to change.
Okay.
We're listening and we're engaging here together because we're building blocks.
Yeah.
But some
And
people are
hopefully
just
they're enjoying it as
the
well.
audience. And for
I think most people are going to be so damn depressed at the end of this.
They're all busy writing lists.
To wind it back.
No, they're all writing lists.
Watch
Bangkok Chitchat.
Some people are just listening to wait for the words finish so they can say something. And, so we need to build things together. And
Well, I think that's a very good place to leave it, on a smile and a laugh,
and-
unless you've got
No,
the final
all I'm going to say, unless you're going to talk again, there'll be a few, some information in the description,
Oh, right, yeah.
some help groups, etc., or websites, so you
There's a
can
lot
follow
of
up on that, and also where I got some of the data from. So it's there if you need any help.
Bruce, it's been a pleasure, mate.
Lovely,
No,
Andy.
very informative,
great.
and I hope you
you.
guys at home or wherever
thank
you're
you.
watching this enjoyed it. Something very different. We don't
Yes.
normally quite serious, but I think we've laughed during this one
I
more
think
than we
it's
laughed during the
topical.
funnier one.
I think it's topical for what's going on just now.
Yeah, and I hope that's sort of helped you a bit anyway. So Bangkok Chit Chat's the place to be. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.